I'm all wet and salty from skinny dipping. I sure hope no big, sexy sharkmen show up and try to eat me. Why, Bruce, what a big fin you have. We're gonna need a bigger bed.
I think we watched the wrong Jaws movie.
Says you.
It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes with Tony and Newt.
Talking about tapes.
Hello, Newt.
Hey, Tony.
Oh man, I'm having a good. Well, I was having a good day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you know, we live in a flood zone. Remember in the Titanic episode we were sinking?
Yeah.
The store is a little flooded, and bad news. There's a shark in the store.
Holy shit.
It's actually Cruel Jaws from the Cruel Jaws episode. He came back.
Oh no.
Get back!
Not the cruel Jaws.
Get back! You're so cruel, Jaws! He's hungry for more. This time it's personal. Or whatever the tagline was to Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah.
It's Cruel Jaws the Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a shark in the store. We're just gonna have to live with it.
Should we stay closed though, so we don't affect the customers, or?
You want to close the store on the 4th of July weekend? People are coming in. They want to rent Independence Day. We have the most copies of Independence Day than any other video store, and you want to close because there might be a shark in the store?
It's on HBO Max streaming. Free.
Shut up!
So, what are we talking about today?
Well, good news. We are talking about Jaws.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I should have noticed that the set was all.
Yeah. You actually got us the beer
Jaws
from
beer.
the movie.
Yeah.
I never even noticed.
I had to go to two different stores, and I kept forgetting how to pronounce it properly.
Maid of Honor.
Yeah.
This is Maid of Honor.
It could have been a Japanese grappler.
Official beer of the clan.
I thought you said clan for a second there, and I went, well, I won't be drinking that on camera.
But you will be drinking it?
Off camera. Yeah. You can't taste hate.
Jaws.
One of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
I don't really have lists anymore.
Oh. Did you open your beer?
I did.
Oh, we should. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Yes. I don't really have a list of favorites anymore.
Oh, really?
It's like, okay, what's the best movie ever made? Roadhouse.
Okay.
It's the best Batman movie
Debatable.
ever made. Dark Knight Rises.
Even more debatable.
What's the best Transformers movie? 2, Revenge of the Fallen.
Well, because I'm involved in that
Exactly.
one. Yeah,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't really have lists. But yes, Jaws is one of my favorites from childhood. I studied this movie like crazy.
Yes.
One of the first DVDs I got with like super special features. And by the way, I don't know when this came out. The Blu-ray. When was this? 1 second. 2012. Okay. Shout out to whoever did this for actually having good cover art.
Yeah.
I feel like when a lot of movies get like Blu-ray releases and stuff,
they try to like change it up, and
or like the new Indiana Jones just looks so fucking bad. The ones where like the Burton Batmans look terrible.
Oh yeah.
They make it look boring. And that one, they're like, okay, here's the poster of the movie. And
Since it's like one of the most iconic posters ever.
Yeah. So shout out to that. I actually watched this on Blu-ray for the first time.
Did you ever see all the documentaries? Like,
years ago,
the shark is still not working and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
They're great.
I didn't have time to rewatch them before this. I rewatched some of the deleted scenes. There's one I really want to talk about. But yes, this is based off a Peter Benchley book that I did not read.
Me either. But I know all the stuff that's different in it.
I think I do too. I know most of it. It was at a house that we rented on the shore once. And I read like the first 2 pages and I was like 10. And I'm like, that's too many words. So I'm going to watch the movie.
Yeah, there's like Brody's cheating on his wife. And
she sleeps with like Hooper.
She cheats. And then there's a mafia subplot and all this other stuff.
Right.
They were very wise to trim out all the stuff and just go with a straightforward
it's smart. It's smart.
Horror action story,
I used to recreate scenes of this movie with friends. Me and my friends, we would do these like before Be Kind Rewind came out. Me and my friends would remake scenes from movies, and like the one time we just remade all of Jaws on a low budget.
Oh wow.
I think where I got the idea from, and I know other people did it, I got the idea of college humor, which used to be funny. I don't know if you know this. When it was actually college, like people in college doing funny stuff, that someone remade Rocky IV in their dorm room. So me and my friends watched that in high school. I'm like, we should just remake scenes of movies we like. And we did all of Jaws. I was Richard Dreyfuss. I was a few characters.
I can see that.
My shark cage was just a clothing hamper I put over my head, and we put a blue filter in front of the camera, and I'm like, oh no, I'm in a shark cage.
You're a regular Steven Spielberg.
I'm a regular Steven Spielberg. I have the McFarlane Jaws thing, but it's very fragile, so I did not bring it in. But look what I do have there, Newt.
Okay, so tell this story, because this is fucking funny.
All right. I'm going to go into the story going, I kind of expected this to happen.
Yeah.
So I get a Facebook ad. Don't trust Facebook ads. And it's like wall-mounted shark head from Jaws, and it looks awesome. It looks extremely detailed, and it looks gigantic. Only $35. And I'm like, that feels like it should be more.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a gamble. I ordered it.
Yeah.
And then when I was away in North Carolina, my girlfriend hits me up. She's like, hey, package came in. And I'm like, open it.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, it's the Jaws head. I'm like, oh, cool. Show me a picture of how big it is. And she sends me a picture of it next to my remote control, my cat.
Yeah.
And it's the tiniest thing in the world. So I did more investigating, which is what I should have did before I paid $35. Whatever Facebook ad site that's doing this, they stole a picture from an actual mounted head you can get for like $850, and they just lied.
So this one looks like it's eating a half a pack of certs. Remember how they used to come in like that? Yeah.
It does not look like a propane thing.
No, no, not at all. So yeah, that's fun.
That is fun. But yeah, this movie is classic.
Yeah, it was one of Steven Spielberg's. It was his second feature after Duel.
This was first in theaters, though.
First in
Duel
theaters.
was made for TV.
Yeah.
It's made for TV.
But because he had done Night Gallery before that and all that.
Yeah.
They thought they should shoot the whole thing on open water.
That's not
And that was the reason that this movie had the troubled history that it had. The shark didn't work because of the salt water.
Yeah.
They would set up a shot and you had to shoot on the horizon and boats would come in and it would screw the entire thing up. And just shooting on the water was a disaster. And people didn't want to be in the movie. And then some people did, like, Charlton Heston wanted to be in the movie, but then Steven Spielberg said it wouldn't make sense because moviegoers expect Charlton Heston to be the hero, and they wouldn't feel the shark would be killed 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
So he didn't cast him, and then Charlton Heston was like pissed at Steven Spielberg for the rest of his life, you know?
I would have liked to see Charlton Heston in this movie, to be honest. I would have loved to see Charlton Heston.
As Hooper, though.
As Hooper. The most, I know, obviously you want him as Quint, but it'd be funny if he was Hooper. It's a goddamn shark. It wasn't no boating accident. You maniacs! You open the beaches!
Get your damn dirty fins off me. I love this movie. A couple little things. This movie made 67 million people saw this the summer that it came out.
Yeah. I remember my mom and like my aunt and stuff talking about how like they all went to the theaters.
This was considered the first blockbuster because movies before that there was big movies before. Like movies made a ton of money, but they were bicycled from one territory to another territory.
Yeah.
Theater chains in a certain area would rent the movie for a specific amount of time, and then it would move on to the next city. And that's why if you ever watch like old things, it would say held over because it did well and they kept it and you paid a percentage. This is the first one where they just sent it to everyone, a fuck ton of theaters all at once. And that
model lasted for a while. I think like Halloween and Terminator 1, that was another example. Like they just opened in small things and then kind of finally every movie started just opening.
And then after that, Batman, 89 Batman was the next one to take it up a level. Yeah. And it expanded even more.
And then Waterworld opened up everywhere to make its money back because it failed in America. But then it did, and now every movie opens everywhere.
This movie's rated PG.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah, the MPAAs.
Yeah.
I've talked about how inconsistent they are.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's get into this movie.
Yes, it opens up with a day for night shot.
Yes.
Well, it's like the evening, but you know, day for night. They clearly filmed during the day, made it darker. And I watched another shark movie, as previously mentioned, Cruel Jaws.
Yes.
Not years ago, last year.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
I was gonna say,
old man.
Like this show is aging.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're releasing this episode in 2045.
Yes.
So
okay.
years
All
ago.
right. Yeah. We're actually shooting this on the 29th of June.
Yes, we are.
Which is actually the day that the USS Indianapolis went down.
Yes.
In the story, it's also the day that Alex Kintner died.
Right.
In the movie as well. So,
right.
Yeah.
So beautiful day for night shot. Not unlike Cruel Jaws, where they filmed at the brightest moment in the day and just threw a blue filter on it, and you could clearly just see the sun shining in every single shot. But yeah, so it opens up bunch of hippies partying on the beach.
Yep, and there's one dude, and he's making eyes at Chrissy sitting all by herself on the other side of a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's like, I want to go skinny dipping. And then she's constantly running away from the guy. It's like, okay.
Well, he's like, what's your name? Chrissy, where are we going? Swimming! And I like when he's like, I'm coming. I'm definitely coming.
He's like, I'm not drunk.
Yeah.
And then he just passed down on the beach. Who hasn't?
She's naked in the water.
She is naked in the water, and she gets eaten.
Yeah, and how they did it was they had guys on both sides pulling her back and forth.
Yeah.
And like trying to get her reaction to be real, but like when they had to do the ADR of it, they basically just waterboarded her.
Jesus.
They put the microphone down and they poured water down her throat and had her scream.
Jesus.
And if you ever watched the documentary on the making of, and they're like, Richard Zanuck, the head of like Universal, was like, yeah, nowadays they call that waterboarding. Which is funny because fucking Richard Dreyfuss played Dick Cheney in that movie about George W. Bush.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, that's nice. It's a nice
with Josh Brolin?
Josh Brolin.
Not James Brolin.
I said James Brolin.
You screwed that up in Men in Black. Yeah.
I also said Platoon instead of Full Metal Jacket.
I didn't catch you saying that.
I don't really know a lot about movies. I just make it up as I go.
You just read Wikipedia. And also, the very beginning, we hear the classic Jaws theme.
Oh, that's what I want to say. The beginning is great because the beginning sets up... You don't see the shark.
No.
You just have the ominous sound, and something that belongs to that sound is underwater. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant, because the shark didn't work. They couldn't use the shark.
Yeah.
They had to use the POV shot. So he's almost like an early version of like a slasher movie villain almost,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
just so you realize that there's a threat underwater when you hear that music. And I was like, oh, it's a great way to set the stage.
And it's smart. A lot of other movies, for better or worse, did this where they like don't show the monster, or, like let's hide the monster. This did it because of a technical limitation, although probably would have done POV anyway.
I think they use a little too much of the shark in the third act, but
at that point,
at this point it doesn't matter. Yeah,
You've earned
exactly.
it at that point. Plus, you're fighting the shark now, so you got to see it a little bit. You know what movie used a POV to make up for some of the technical limitations? Alien 3, and the aliens running on the wall.
Yep.
We should talk about that at some point.
At some point.
But let's focus
Has
on...
anybody ever, like, YouTube searched that?
People should YouTube search it a little bit more, but we got to get back to Jaws.
Yeah, we got to get back to Jaws.
So yeah, it's set on Amity Island.
But not Amityville.
However, there is an Amityville Island movie about like a possessed shark.
Exactly.
Not to be confused with Santa Jaws, which I watched.
Or Dick Shark. Or House Shark. Or Sharkula.
Pool Shark was a parody. That one was funny.
Have you ever heard of Gums?
No. Let's go.
Gums was the porn movie that came out after this about a mermaid that blows dudes to death. And it actually has the subplot of Brody's wife cheating on him and the mob in it.
Can you just put those scenes in?
Brother Theodore's in the movie. From
Brother Theodore.
The Burbs.
Oh, Jesus.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I wish we could talk about that one.
So yeah, Brody gets called to the scene. He's from New York.
He's a New York cop or detective
Yeah.
who's moved to Amity Island to be their chief of police.
Yes.
And he's adapting to living on an island. He hates the water.
They must be in the backyard.
In Amity, you say yard.
They're in the yard, not too far from the car.
That's the thing. He's trying to adjust to like their way of life.
Yeah.
And he's there with his wife, Lorraine. Whatever that actress's name is.
Her husband was like the head of the studio at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that what it was? Yeah.
Lorraine Baines McFly.
That's not it.
It's Back to the Future.
That's Back to the Future.
Yeah.
What's her name? I know she's in the second one. She is not. Oh wait, Lorraine Gray.
Yeah, that's
Lorraine
right.
Gray.
We knew that.
It was Lorraine Gray.
Oh my God. Can't believe you knew that.
Yeah, so he has to go investigate the murder.
Mm-hmm.
I like when the kid comes in, he's like, a vampire bit me.
Yeah. Shut up.
And then his deputy finds the body, and he handles it about as well as Andy did when he found Laura Palmer. And I realize I'm wearing this shirt. I like he just is blowing the whistle and he's like, he like he's really overselling it with like, the sand.
And then apparently
he should have had a monologue like, why are we taking so young?
But apparently the prop they made didn't look good.
No.
So they took one of the makeup girls and just buried her up to her arm in the thing and then dumped crabs on it. Do you think those are the same crabs from I Know What You Did Last Summer?
They are. Those crabs, they live a long time, and they were very professional.
They all got their SAG card. It's great.
He suspects it's a shark attack, and that's what like the coroner tells him. And I love when he's like typing things up. His secretary's like, the kids are karate chopping the picket fences.
And what's cool about this movie too is that pretty much everybody is a like local.
Yeah.
That's why it was so amazing.
It feels like a very lived-in town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like Roger Gottlieb, I believe is the name of the writer of this movie. He plays the reporter of the newspaper.
Oh,
But then Peter Benchley plays the reporter from the TV,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, his scene's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wants to rush and get signs made to close the beaches.
Yeah.
And of course the mayor hears about this. And,
Okay, Murray Hamilton as the mayor of this movie. His jacket, his anchor jacket, is the greatest piece of movie wardrobe ever. If I had that jacket, I would wear it every day.
It's a pretty good jacket.
Ever. Like every time I see that, I'm like, fuck, I wish I had that jacket. And I've actually looked online for it in the past. I'm
And
like,
they just
I
don't
can't.
have-
No, I've seen it. I was just like, if I buy this, I'm a fucking jerk off.
That's like me with I really want Kurt Russell's hat from the thing.
Yeah.
But every time I find it, it's like $1,000.
Yeah.
Because they're custom made. Like no one just mass produces those hats.
But
and they're just
Murray Hamilton's
ridiculously-
so good in this movie as
He is great
as
as
the
like
mayor.
And you know what? I agree with him. Keep those beaches open, just like this store. I'm not gonna let a little shark.
Oh, something just moved.
Look, statistically, sharks barely kill people, so you're overreacting. Oh my God, Newt, it's Kieran.
Don't mind me, guys. I'm just shopping.
Kieran, you have to be very careful. There's a shark in the store.
Oh my God, no!
No.
Okay, well that's just one death. It can't happen a second time. Anyway, so he's just like, whoa, chief, what are you doing with this closing the beaches here? We got a business here.
And then the medical examiner, he's like, you told me it was a shark attack. He's like, well, it could have been.
Like he should have had, like if we made this movie, he would have had like $100 bills like coming out of his shirt.
jacket. Yeah,
It's like, well, it could have been a boating accident. Who am I to say? It's like you're the coroner. Yeah, well. Brody like reluctantly is like, okay, I guess we won't. I guess we won't do that. And I love that line where it's like, you yell barracuda. People go, huh? You yell shark.
And you got to panic on the 4th of July.
They're all hanging out on the beach the next day. And, it's just a regular beach day.
Yeah.
And Brody's like real suspicious. He's like constantly looking at the
Everything,
water.
yeah.
It's pretty tense because they're also hitting you with like mundane conversation. Like, when will I be an islander? And then the tannest woman in the world goes, never.
Yeah.
We get a nice split diopter shot. Do you know what that is when the background and the foreground are in focus?
I always just call it the jaw shot. And how many times have we shot something where I go, I really want the jaw shot, and then you go, we can't do that.
I was like, no, we don't have a split diopter. Like, we could fake it digitally and it'll look like shit. Buy a split diopter and we'll do it.
Maybe Ryan will buy us one. Ryan, we need a split diopter. And he's like, you need to split from my office.
There's a great shot where the guy's like talking. He's like checking the girl and she's like fine. Really, really, really tense scene. Apparently you had a black lab like the one in this movie.
Oh, yeah. So his dog's name is Pippin.
Yeah.
Pippin.
Pippin.
When I was a kid, we had a black lab, and I named him Pippin because of this movie. So yeah, that's how much I've loved this movie since I was a little kid.
I always felt bad when that kid, the dog dies.
Yeah.
Because it dies off camera.
And all you see is the logs floating.
The stick that he was chasing is just like... But then it's like, you see where the shark attacks later, and it's like, how far out did that dog swim? Or did the shark grab him and go back
they're
up?
labs. They have webbing between their paws so they can swim. And then poor little Alex Kintner.
Yeah.
His mom's like, Alex Kintner, you're going to turn into a prune. And he's like, I'm just going to go back out on my raft. Bye, Mom.
Bye.
And then he goes out in the water. And then everybody's in the water because even Brody's kids are in the water, except for his little son.
You know who else is
singing
in the
Muffin
water?
Man.
Who shows up to yell at Brody? Harry.
You don't go in the water at all, do you?
Some bad hat, Harry.
You know, someone named their film studio Bad Hat Harry.
Oh, yeah? Who was that?
Bryan Singer.
Oh. He's also in the documentaries, too.
Oh, he is?
It's one of his favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get around to remaking that. I'm going to do Jaws Returns, and it's going to be the same movie. But
It's gonna
set
be
in the same universe?
It's going to be the same movie, except there's going to be so many nubile, hairless young men in it.
It's like, well, I mean, it does take place at the beach, but I'm getting Victor Salva vibes. Anyway, don't look up Victor Salva.
Yeah, even David Dakota's like, I don't want to touch this one. So David Dakota, do you know what other name he directs under?
What was he? Oh, Dick Chasen?
Dick Chasen.
Yeah. Kintner gets eaten.
Poor little Alex.
This is the
Kintner.
first time you see a glimpse of the shark. You just see its fins.
Yeah.
Because they're probably like, we can make it spin. Is that all we can do? Yeah.
That's it.
We can just make it spin. All right,
Wasn't
we're
there
doing
like a story that like George Lucas and somebody else thought it'd be funny to climb inside the mouth of the shark and they broke it and they ran away?
And then this is where we get that nice where it's zoom. What does it do? You push in while you're zooming out, so it looks at the background, the
Stretches
foreground
out,
get all
yeah.
distorted.
I love that shot.
That is a great shot. I've mimicked it, not because I didn't have a dolly, but one day I want to try and mimic that shot a little bit better. So yeah, he dies.
Yeah. And it was way gorier. There's another take of it that's much bloodier.
Although it is pretty bloody. Like blood's
Yeah.
like shooting out like unnaturally. I don't think blood would shoot out like a hose.
Well,
But anyway,
Alex Kintner could have had really high blood pressure.
that's true. That's true. So yeah, they have a conference afterwards and like, are you going to close the beaches? And I love when the chief's like, yes, we are. And then the mayor's like, only for 24 hours. Like, I didn't
But they're
agree
like,
to that.
so Alex Kintner's mother puts a bounty on the shark and it's $3,000.
Yeah.
And the people in the town are joking and they're like, is that going to be cash, a check? And they're all laughing. And then the tan lady's like, I don't think that's very funny. I was like, oh, she's the original Karen.
Yeah.
But it's also like, hey, a little boy.
I mean, maybe it's funny, but like, just don't tell that at the press conference.
Yeah,
Like,
read the room, you know?
Yeah, read the room a little bit. And then here we get the introduction to Quint.
Y'all know me. You know,
Y'all know what I
do.
And
Robert Shaw. It's one of the best. Everyone in this movie has a very distinct entrance to what their character arc is going to be.
But what I think was his original entrance is one of my favorite deleted scenes.
Yeah.
And I wish it was put somewhere in the... I agree. It shouldn't have been his first scene because this scene's great where he's like, you know what I do? I'll catch it for this. I'll find it for that. But there is a deleted scene where he's going to get piano wire.
Yeah.
Because that's what he uses.
Oh,
to
that's
fish.
right. Yeah.
And he goes into like the music store and this kid's like playing the flute and he's just making fun of the kid. The kid's like, da, da, and he's like, ba, da, da, just screaming in a split diopter.
Yeah.
So like the first scene is just him with his manservant who disappears in the third act.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's just them in the store just screaming at a kid until he leaves. I'm like, that's a great scene.
well, it might have also been because Robert Shaw was drunk the entire
Probably.
movie, you know?
It is funny. Like, I've only seen like a handful of movies he's in, but you watch like From Russia with Love, where he's like the really good looking blonde Superman.
The original Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
one.
And then you watch him in this, he's like, rah!
Yeah. But I love that entrance and just the way he's like, you know, ladies and gentlemen, and he just walks out, and then the little guy who goes with him and just follows him. Like, where'd that guy go the rest of the movie?
He really, like, you think that's like assistant, and then the third act he just disappears, and I don't remember a deleted scene explaining where he went.
he was just his friend. But then again, that seems like the kind of guy who would be his friend because nobody else on the island likes him. Y'all want to be spending winter on welfare?
Yeah, so I like the next scene where Brody's actually researching sharks. And is he the one who says you want to get drunk, fool around?
Oh no, his wife lays on his lap and she's like, "You want to get drunk and fool around?" And he's like, "Yes." And then they go over and she's like, "Oh, where's the kids?" And the one son is sitting in the boat.
Yeah.
On the dock inside the boat, and she's like, he's never gonna want to go in the water again after that.
There's so many good character moments in this that actually like develop the characters a little bit. And I do love this scene where she's like, it's fine. And then she sees the picture of the shark eating the boat. And she's like, get out of the water.
Michael, get out of the water.
Now.
No, because they feel like real people.
They do.
In it. You know, even the kids like aren't great actors, but they feel like kids.
Yeah.
You know, even the scene where they're tying the knot later, they seem like real kids having that conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
No, they seem, everyone.
But I just love that she just like turns to a page in the book that just so happened to have a painting of a shark eating a boat. Like,
and then we get this scene with the two fishermen trying to lure out the shark with their roast.
Yeah.
His wife's holiday roast.
And then I was like, wait a minute. So if they don't catch the shark, are they just going to put the holiday roast back and pretend like nothing happened? Like,
honey, I don't know what happened to that roast.
Because he's like $3,000 will buy a lot of roasts. Imagine if you caught the shark and all you spent the money on was roasts.
Yeah. What I like about this, like, this is definitely like an action scary scene, but no one had to die. Like in a modern movie, these guys would have been mutilated.
Yeah, and it's also another thing where it's like, so
this also feels, and it wasn't unlike a scene later. This feels like it might have been added later in post, but I don't think it was.
No, the Ben Gardner scene is added.
That's
later.
definitely added.
Yeah. I just love because you don't see the shark. Yeah. You only see the dock break off and then coming back towards them. And I was like, that's scarier than if you saw the monster because you can't see what's underneath.
But you know what? No, it'd be even scarier.
What's that? If
it was Godzilla coming.
That's what it reminded me of. Yeah. It reminded me of the scene with the guy fishing, which was the second teaser.
Yeah, because that one actually ended up in the movie. The other one with the T-Rex skeleton wasn't in the movie.
That was the original teaser.
Do you like how my shrine's going?
I do. Eventually, I'm going to dig out the 24-foot size matters banner that I have. It literally will wrap around this room twice.
Oh, good. We're going to wrap it around.
Something just brushed up against my leg again.
Would you relax?
Did you at least tell the shark to wear a mask?
No, I didn't. Dude, I didn't close during the pandemic. You think I'm going to close because of a shark? You really underestimate me. Oh my God, Johanna's in the store.
Yeah, I'm just here to get Queen of the Damned.
Johanna, you have to be careful. There's a shark in the store.
Oh my God! I guess I'm going to do that Godzilla podcast on my own now.
Can I be in more of them?
No. Oh. I'm going to fly out Cripple Jesus. He was our best guest. So yeah, the next day everyone's hunting the shark.
Yeah.
With dynamite.
Overloading their boats.
Yeah.
They hit those rocks. They're going to wish their fathers had never met their mothers.
There's actually, I was skimming through the deleted scenes. They trimmed a lot of this out. There's scenes where like the fishermen are fighting with each other and screaming, and then there's multiple scenes of them just unloading their guns in the water.
Well, I like
that they trimmed out for time.
When they even go out, they just have guys lighting dynamite and just throwing it into the water like they might accidentally hit it, you know?
Do you think they knew how loud that dynamite would be before they lit it?
No.
Unlike so the Independence Day. If you haven't seen the Independence Day episode, please go back and watch that. I thought I bought a lame sparkler, and I didn't expect it to shoot in the air and make a whistle.
And I would have. My brain was telling me to follow the camera up, but I also thought it might come down and hit you in the face. So I kept the camera on you, and I told Ryan that, and he goes, "Well, obviously that's what you should have done."
My reaction is genuine in that video, where I just like freeze. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect.
I don't know if the sound of the neighbor reads, but we heard the neighbor behind the studio who goes, "The fuck was that?" There's been a lot of times.
The funny thing is, we did it in the parking lot where kids skateboard.
Yeah.
So they're probably like, oh, those teenagers are in their 30s running back to the office.
How many times guys in their mid to late 30s have we run out of that parking lot after doing something stupid and naughty? Like,
naughty?
Well, I do things behind the building. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm like, stupid. Yeah, I don't know about naughty.
Don't worry about it.
This is when Richard Dreyfuss shows
up.
Dreyfuss. As Hooper.
The star of Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yes. And I'm reminded he did a really good Quint impression in Piranha 3D.
Yeah, yep. And he did that movie and he gave all the money to this charity that he cares a lot about, which is kind of cool.
I like Richard Dreyfuss. I blanked on his name for a second. I'm like, I like that guy.
Yeah.
He's a cool
guy with the little beard. He's in Close Encounters.
You been in anything recently?
Sure he has.
Piranha 3D.
He played Dick Cheney. We talked about that.
Right. No, he's really great in this. He's just a total dick.
Yeah.
And I love when he's just being a dick to the fishermen and they're being a dick to him. He's like, you're never going to leave the harbor alive.
I like when he gets off the boat and the guy's like, hello, young fella. Like, there's that weird scene where he just stares at that guy and the guy stares at him. Like,
so he's an oceanographer.
Yes.
And, studies sharks and whatnot. They called him in to, investigate if it is a shark, and they do the autopsy.
Yes.
And this is where we get the famous, it's not a boat accident, wasn't any propeller, wasn't any coral reef,
wasn't Jack the Ripper.
It was a shark. What's the scientific name for shark?
Squalus. Which I learned from this movie. And I literally just said it before when we were in here, and it was like, what is that? And I go, oh, it's a shark. And they're like, oh, how'd you know that? And I was like, well, I'm just very smart. Like, not because I rewatched this movie last night to take notes.
And not because there was a shark in the store.
Oh, no. You told me to ignore it. I'm a little worried.
It's fine.
I ruined my socks. That's the thing I'm worried about.
So yeah, while they're talking about the whole shark thing,
While they're talking about tapes.
yeah,
Yeah.
while they're doing the autopsy and talking about the shark biting stuff, they find the shark. What a short movie!
Exactly, it's over.
And I think it's a real dead shark because it moves like a real dead shark. Yeah, they prop it up. Everyone's
Get
cheering.
a picture, and he goes, "It's a tiger shark." And my favorite thing is the guy who goes,
A what?
He never sounds like that
No.
any other scene. Every other scene, he's like, "What are you talking about? It's a fucking shark."
There's
and then
only
that one
been-
scene, he goes, "Huh?"
There's only been one time in my entire life I've done that, and someone knew it was from Jaws. We were somewhere, and some guy goes, "Were you just trying to be the guy in Jaws?" And I was like, "That's great." I bought the guy a drink.
Okay, and I know the mayor is made out to be a bad guy, even though he just wants nothing but the best for Amity, and he wants them to, like,
You got to keep the economy open.
we got to keep the economy open,
You know?
much like this store. I'm
Exactly.
keeping this open, okay? And you should all come down here to Hack Movies Video. I forget where we're located in this continuity, but we're there. Yeah, I love when they're like, "Yeah, we have to do an autopsy to be sure." And then he's just like, "Hey guys, could you not cut open the shark and have a dead boy still on the pier in front of all the cat? Like, could you maybe do this some other time?"
And it just swallows everything whole because later when they're doing the autopsy, there's just full fish in there, you know?
Yeah, we're getting to the autopsy part.
The day I love this scene.
Yeah.
And it actually, like, because you had this thing where it's kind of fun, and it's you know, you have the scene with the fisherman on the pier, and it's becoming this like nautical adventure type of movie, and then Alex Kintner's mom shows up,
And it just like completely,
and then it completely
you hear a
slaps.
pin drop.
Yeah, and she's like, I heard that a girl got killed, and you knew about it, and you still didn't close the beaches. And then she slaps him in the face before that.
Yeah.
And
Although I would have been like, the mayor told me I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, well,
I would have just shifted the blame. Actually, it's not even shifting the blame. It's just but he said I wasn't allowed to.
That actress would have people come up to her and ask them for her to slap them in the face. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, I wish I could make my life on that. But it's like, this person maybe was a local actress. She wasn't a film actress.
Yeah.
Against, like, the people who are in this movie. This scene made more of an impact on me than movies that have fucking Tom Hanks in them. I'm going to remember...
Chet Hanks' dad?
Chet Hanks' dad.
Right, okay.
Yeah. What kind of summer is it? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I love this scene. And it kind of regrounds you in the fact that it's not just a creature
it's
film.
It's like, hey, I know you had fun the last few minutes, but no, there's like serious.
Yeah,
there's a serious
exactly.
threat
So I
going on.
really, really love this movie.
Yeah, and she was really great. And then last year she died. So moving on.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she died of coronavirus. She
Oh
was
my
like
God.
the first, well, not celebrity, but she was like the first like film person that was noted of dying of coronavirus.
Holy shit, really?
You had no idea this happened?
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Since the floor's all flooded, can I pour one out? Like
No, because then you're gonna get the shark drunk.
Oh, we don't want.
You don't want
we don't
that.
want a drunk video store shark.
So yeah, I really like this next scene. Again, doesn't really add anything, but it's a good character moment where him and his son are mimicking each other.
Yeah, and then they do it again in part 4. He does it.
Well,
with,
yeah. Well, this is clearly setting up for part 4,
Well, yes.
where Ellen Brody remembers them doing it, and it's very because I think that's the boy who dies in in Jaws 4, right? Yeah, it's very, very emotional,
Yeah.
and I Jaws 4 very underrated. I feel Jaws 4 is terrible.
Jaws 4.
Jaws 4 is terrible.
Yeah. Michael Caine is in the movie.
Yeah,
and he has that famous line because
I didn't see the movie, but I saw the house it built, and it's lovely.
he couldn't go and accept his Oscar because he was making Jaws 4 in the Caribbean with Mario Van Peebles. Melvin's the dad.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, Mario Van Peebles is the son.
Okay.
Melvin is the dad.
I think
Melvin made Sweet Sweetback's
they might
Badass
have
song.
both been in it, actually. Your dad might have had a smaller
Oh,
part
really?
in it.
I haven't seen it in years.
Well, how could you not? It's so
weird,
famous.
It's weird that I've seen 3, the second most of all of them. Because
we have cards that are unopened from Jaws 3D.
Okay, I'll eat the gum. I will eat the gum in this episode.
Yeah, so it's a cute scene of him and his son. Again, just beautifully brought back in Jaws 4
Yeah,
The Revenge,
of course.
which ignores Jaws 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Hooper comes over. And I love when they're like getting to know each other. And remember back in the day when movies, people could just like hang out and talk for a little bit so you get to know them.
And you care about them when they're going to go up against this insurmountable odds.
Yeah, but now it's all like, yo, what's up, family? We're going on a car heist. This is Jimmy something. He's the greatest hacker in the world. And he's an ex-military. Like someone's just telling you what the person's.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I'm an oceanographer. Let's hang out for a little bit.
Let's open a bottle of wine and just sit here and have a conversation.
Let's drink most of the bottle of wine and only give the two of the other.
I'm too drunk to be on the ocean. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. I like how he's still drinking on the boat in the scene after it.
But yeah, no. So they decide to go do the autopsy. And I love when he's just like, are you allowed to do that? He's like, chief of police. I can do whatever I want. And I love they pull the license plate out. I'm like, did he eat a car?
Yeah. I was at a place and they make replicas of it was at Universal Studios. By the ride, they make license plates that are all crumpled up like that with the same number in St. Louis.
Remember Deep Blue Sea referenced that?
Oh, yeah.
When he pulled the license plate out of the shark. And I'm like, okay.
Deepest, bluest. My head is like a shark fin.
I have it there. Yeah, that movie was definitely like, we're going to be better, Charles. And then Spielberg kind of did that to himself when they introduced the mosasaur in Jurassic World. It's eating a shark. And it's like, I get it. I'm excited to see that thing come back in the new one. You didn't see Jurassic Park 5.
I haven't seen the last two.
Oh, they all break out at the end.
I know. I saw the ending.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Goldblum's like, and if we don't take action, it will truly be a Jurassic
But I'm hoping the next one,
world.
because the mosasaur scenes are really good in those movies, and I'm like, I can't wait to see it just
from the projection booth. Like, one of the dinosaurs was Nosferatu.
Yeah, we'll watch those movies together at some point.
And the little girl's a clone. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, we'll mention Jurassic Park review. Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff in the book. So then they go investigate a missing boat.
Yes.
That they, or like the fishing, where the shark attacked. And Hooper's got like a super expensive boat. And I love he's like, how much money do you have? He's like, me or my family?
Yeah.
And so he's just like a rich asshole that decided to become an oceanographer.
Exactly.
He mentions it earlier. He's like, a shark ripped up his boat and he became fascinated with sharks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they added this scene late in the game because they wanted one more scare, like you said. But that's when they find a guy's missing boat.
They shot it in the editor's pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And
because the people who bought that house, not the documentary, the people who bought the house, apparently there was like a big giant box of just like snippets of film, and there were pieces of Jaws in that these people found when they bought the house.
Oh, that's funny.
That's amazing.
That is so funny. Yeah, so they they were like checking out the boat, and then boom, head pops out.
Hooper goes down underneath, and he finds the tooth, which is like the size of a shot glass, he says, and then Gardner's head pops out, and like I remember the first time I saw it when I was a kid. Little kid. There's a couple scenes in this movie where I would sit on the floor in front of the sofa, like watching it in front of the TV, and I remember just jumping backwards onto the sofa where my mom was sitting. Like, but then the mayor doesn't believe him because he dropped the tooth.
Yeah, he's like, but you don't have the tooth.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't know what to tell you. It's like when people come in my store and they're like, I saw a fin in aisle 3, and I'm like, well, show me the fin.
Well, there's a lot of fins at the end of the movies in the credits.
Exactly. But yeah, he's like, well, you don't have it. And you're right. They referenced the 1916 where there was a great white.
A great white came in New Jersey. And at the time, people knew nothing about sharks. At least in New Jersey. They
Remember in Philly, a beluga whale just showed up that one year? That was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, a bunch of people were attacked by a dog was eaten, a kid was eaten, a swimmer, adult swimmer was eaten. And it was like what inspired Peter Benchley to write this book in 1916. And Matawan, or it started with an M.
I forget.
I'm from New Jersey, but you know.
How much you want to bet? Because it was like, what, 1916? Real easy to fake a murder. How would you bet someone just stabbed a guy a million times? Like, that shark got him.
There was a fucking shark down there.
What I'm learning is, like, before 1985, he just got away with any murder. Just like, hey guys, shark ate him. Oh, those look like stab wounds. No, those are teeth bites.
Yeah, teeth bites. And the Jersey Devil helped him. They went that way. Bye.
But yeah, I like how the mayor's more concerned with vandalism.
Yeah.
He's like, I want these vandals found.
I'm not going to stand here and have people line up to be a hot lunch.
I like that,
which is great.
And they're just trying to tell him, like, this thing, which, by the way, this movie gave sharks a bad reputation.
Yeah.
Because, like, sharks, like, literally, they just don't. Like, they rarely actually eat someone.
Yeah.
They bite people, and then they decide they don't want to eat them, and then people bleed out. So, like, there are shark bites, but I can't think of many times where I've heard of a shark actually, like, eating someone.
They show some pretty horrific old pictures in this too.
But even then, they were just bites. They weren't like, because the
Mm-hmm.
shark doesn't really want to eat. They eat like fatty things.
Yes.
Yeah, which is why it's weird it went after that kid and not that large woman.
Exactly,
When
yeah.
it was on the beach. It's like, well, I've watched a lot of Shark Week back before it was like, faking megalodons and stuff like that. Yeah, they like seals and stuff. They don't really like stringy skinny.
When did they all get caught up in that tornado, though? That was what I was worried about.
I have friends who were in that movie.
Yeah. But I like when he's like, all they do, they're a perfect machine. All they do is they swim and they eat and they make baby sharks. Do baby shark, do. I've been wanting to do that all day.
You son of a bitch. I had it saved for the end.
Oh, really?
I had it saved for the fact at the end, and you beat me to it.
Did
you
it.
Dick. The weekend starts. Everyone's out at the beach.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a real game, but Killer Shark, that arcade game where they're shooting sharks, I've always wanted to play that.
No, it looks awesome.
But I don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
Let me know if that's real. I wish I knew
We should ask Todd Tuckey.
We should ask Todd Tuckey.
Our friend owns TNT Amusements.
Or just any of our friends who know about video games. I don't know a lot about video games because they're for children. I'm an adult. But yeah, if you guys know anything about video games, let us know if Killer Shark was a real game.
I've produced 3 video games for this company in the last
and
year.
I'm sure kids love them, Newt.
Kids, that little kid reading all the AVGN text at the convention last weekend.
For the record, at the conventions, we have a family safe mode version of the game.
It blocks out all the
before people are like, "What?" It's like, yeah, there's a safe. There's the PG version.
Yeah, and then the kid was like, "What's that say? What's that say?" And the dad was like, "Is there something else supposed to be there?" And I went, "Oh, yes, yeah."
But yeah, then this is when we see Peter Benchley giving his best monologue.
But in recent days, a cloud has appeared on the horizon of this beautiful resort community. A cloud in the shape of a killer shark.
Which is cool because Mondo did that poster a couple years ago because the end credits of this movie play over the coastline and they took that image and they put a cloud in the sky that's shaped like a shark and I was like, that's brilliant. I have the one where it's the map of Amity Island, but it's shaped like the shark.
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool.
that one's cool. So, at this point,
yes,
I found my spirit animals.
Yeah.
the two old men who pull a George Costanza. There's a shark fin in the water, and everyone starts freaking out. there's literally 2 men. Well, the first guy, he turns around and sees a bunch of kids on the raft and throws them off the raft out of his way, much like George pushed that old lady and those kids to the ground during the fire. And then there's another guy who pushes a kid off the raft and then takes the raft. And I'm like, that'd be a Tony thing. Like, get out of here, kid. Ah.
Can we get Spielberg to digitally add you as those 2 guys now? Like,
you know what? That runs in my blood. Because my grandmother told me a story. She had a uncle or a cousin who was wheelchair bound. And they had like a fire in their house the one day, and everyone was having trouble getting him down the stairs because he couldn't like do it himself. And apparently my grandmother just jumped all over all of them and said, "You've lived your lives. I need to get out of here." And she tells that story so proudly. And I'm like, wow, I really looked up to her.
Now I look up to her more.
That's why she taught me to always look out for number 1. like, if you have a business, if there's a shark in the store, you stay open to look out for yourself.
Tip the kid down and then surf him down the thing like Batman and Robin on the hatches of Mr. Freeze's thing, you know?
This was like 1940s. I don't fucking know.
Did I ever tell you my idea for Justin and I used to talk about we wanted to get into Arnold Palmer's to pitch a commercial? So it would be a high rise of the Arnold Palmer marketing company. The Arnold Palmer is the drink, the iced tea drink, and the real Arnold Palmer kicks open to the door to the room because they're gonna change. No more lemonade iced tea. Pulls his golf clubs out, hits everybody on the thing, grabs the guy who's canceling it, jumps out the window with him, then surfs him down to the ground. He explodes into an American flag, and then Arnold Palmer sips a thing. And I was like, "What do you think? Do you think they would listen to us?" And everybody was like, "No, you guys. What's wrong with both of you?"
But yeah, I think Spielberg made a mistake in this scene.
Oh yeah,
I think he needs to fix this.
What's that?
Turns out it's not a fin. It's 2 kids with like a cardboard fin. They were playing a prank. But when they come out of the water, there's all these people pointing guns at them.
Walkies.
Yeah, I got too scared. I was like, oh no, guns. And then I started thinking about the Second Amendment and how people tell me it's a mistake. I'm not going to point fingers, but people tell me it's a mistake, which I don't agree with. But I was getting very anxious and stuff, and I think Spielberg needs to go back and get rid of those guns, put walkie-talkies.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't remember that, in 2001 after 9/11, he replaced all of the guns in E.T. with walkie-talkies.
Yes. You know what? I'm glad he stopped.
What if he said, the right to bear arms, and he gives them all bear arms?
I'm glad he stopped there.
Yeah.
I know he's tweaked things here and there. He made Jurassic Park 3D and stuff. But I'm glad he didn't do like a Lucas and just kept making changes. Like he did it once. He's like,
yeah.
This is and to his credit, on that, because I have that DVD, he included the original.
Yes.
Whereas Lucas was like, no.
The CGI,
this is the good version.
The CGI ET in that movie is just
It's very
awful.
jarring. It's very jarring. But by the way, it was good of George Lucas to do that because we still like George Lucas.
He's like the little boy in that Twilight Zone episode. It's good that you changed our childhoods. It's real good.
It's good that you made Boba Fett Australian or New Zealand, whatever. Oh, you know what my favorite Star Wars ship is?
What's that?
Boba Fett Starship. My favorite ship.
Slave One?
Boba Fett Starship.
I honestly don't understand the reference.
Oh, you don't get it?
No.
Oh, you probably didn't get that tweet. I did.
No.
Lego set did a Mandalorian thing, and they're no longer calling it Slave One.
Oh.
They're calling it Boba Fett Starship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You didn't say. Oh, yeah. I
not...
did it because I have Slave One in my kitchen. I took a picture, and I'm like, what's the name of your favorite Star Wars ship? Mine is Boba Fett Starship.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't realize. I was like, what do you mean? It's called Slave One.
I think people are definitely freaking out over it. Who fucking cares about new Star Wars? I think that might just be a Lego thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you play Lego Indiana Jones, you're not really, they don't put any Nazi flags. I think it's more of a Lego thing than a Disney thing.
Well, I'm okay with that. I don't think kids should be playing with Lego Nazi flags.
I mean, you get to beat them up.
You can, but they could just be like a skull and a crossbones.
Maybe. I don't know.
Except in China.
Yeah.
People in China don't have skulls.
Although it turns out that might be overblown.
Yeah.
It turns out they're cool with it sometimes, and I think just American and British companies, they just play it safe and they get rid of the skulls on their own.
I thought it was, you couldn't have it if it was in a supernatural
Apparently there's
concept.
exceptions to that rule. Apparently they're not as strict, it's just other, and I'm correcting myself from previous episodes, and just like other countries are like, you know what, let's just not even risk it, let's just change it so it's not a thing.
I've seen a Chinese one sheet for Pirates of the Caribbean, and it has the pirate at the wheel of the ship. And I was like, wait, I thought Tony said, like, you tell me things, and I think that you're a very smart man because you're so handsome and buff.
Yeah, apparently it's not like a strict rule.
Yeah.
I think they might use it to like, they're picky and choosy.
What if China just does it to fuck with us?
Honestly, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
They're like, look at these fucking idiots spending all this money to change
Oh my
shit.
God, they took Crossbones and Taskmaster, characters only known for having skull faces, and they got rid of their skull faces.
Jackasses.
Anyway.
Bunch of Yankee doodle duties.
All right, so while that's happening,
yes,
everyone's freaked out. Really good scene of everyone screaming. I love the mom just holding her daughter going, ah! It's like nothing even happened yet. Get out of the water, lady.
Except while that's happening, the girl
chief-
with the patchwork pants.
Oh, right.
Shark!
And everyone, Brody's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then his wife's like, your son's in the pond. He's like, oh, no.
And he starts running.
Yeah.
I like how, though, he quickens his pace where the camera's moving between the people.
Yeah.
And then it has to keep up with him. I thought that was really
good.
That's a really good tracking shot there.
I forget who the cinematographer of this is, but he's really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dean Cundy. That was before
that
Spielberg started teaming up with Dean Cundy. Who I think is one of the greatest cinematographers of all
Except
time.
he did Jack and Jill. Yeah.
I don't think he adjusted well to all digital sets and
In
stuff.
his defense, though, you get paid if you do an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's probably an easy film to shoot.
And I'll be a whore for anything. I really don't care. I like money so much.
Someone said we sold out for taking an ad recently, and I'm just like, no, we're cashing in.
No, yo.
We never took a stance against ads.
No,
we love
exactly.
ads.
You want me to sell boner pills? You want me to sell hair stuff? Like adult diapers? I don't fucking care, dude.
Dude, I shit myself all the time, but what I'm wearing depends.
Exactly.
I do it with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, it takes me a long time to get a boner. I need prep. This pill will really help me.
I've seen it. I've had to help him with his boner, and I'm down there. And I'm like, but thanks to boner
pills.
Yeah.
I always said if we ever start a band, it should be called Gas Station Boner Pill, because the wrestler guy who helps us, he was like, yeah, I was looking at these like boner pills at the gas station, like to see what they do, and they're called like Poseidon and stuff like that. And I was like, gas station boner pill is an awesome name for a band.
So anyway,
yeah,
the kids are trying to tie a knot in the boat, and some guy's trying to help them out in his
over
tiny
there.
little boat.
Yeah.
He's like, you're doing all right over there? And it's like, all right, dude, back away from the kids. What's your deal?
Exactly.
But
the shark was saving the kids from that guy.
Much like the snake in King Kong, the anti-rape snake.
They did not concern. Because if they remade Jaws now, like the shark would fucking jump out of the water and do a split.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. What was that movie? The Shallows.
Oh yeah.
I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, what? This shark is too smart.
Did you ever see the Robot Chicken episode where it was the 40th anniversary of Jaws, the scenes that they put back in digitally?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I think we should kill the shark. And then the shark pops up with a fake nose and glasses. I say we let him go. And then he goes... Yeah, the shark jumps out of the water, does like a backflip, and then comes back down.
But yeah, so the shark eats that guy.
Yeah.
And the leg in the water is creepy as hell.
Yeah, where it just hits the bottom is really creepy.
Way better than the rubber arm in Jurassic Park. That is the one special effect in that movie where you go, what the fuck?
Poor Mr.
Why is it all shiny? And
Poor Mr. Arnold.
But this leg is pretty awesome. This is when you first kind of see the shark.
Yeah, yep. And that's
Which is funny that
into
they're
the movie.
hiding. It's funny that they're hiding a shark. It's like everyone knows what a shark looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember when this movie came out, like people were scared not only to go in the water, but people talked about they didn't want to go to the bathroom because they didn't know if the shark could come through the toilet. And that was a story that my aunt told me, and I was like, were all of your friends like slow?
My friend Dick researched this. Do you know how many people in this country believe in witches?
I know.
Not even like they are witches. They believe that witches are casting spells on them to ruin their lives. Do you know how many people believe that?
I just figure most women I know in my life are trying to ruin my life.
What was that? There was like one politician who was afraid of the military going on an island because he thought it would capsize the island. Like these people exist.
And we give them a voice.
Yeah, and I 100% believe someone would be like, oh my God, there's a shark in my toilet. Like, I think I mentioned before, I know a teacher who thought the sky was blue because it was reflecting the ocean. Like,
ghoulies I can see in the toilet because I've seen a picture of it.
Isn't that like not in the movie?
It's
and then they worked it into one of the sequels?
Yeah, and it's funny that like the ghoulies are naked in the movie, but for some reason that one was dressed like 1980s Howie Mandel.
Yeah, why was Anyway, what's his face? Brody's son is in shock.
Yeah.
And then he's in the hospital and he's like, you want coffee or ice cream?
No, she says, what kind of ice cream do you want? And he went, coffee. And I was sitting at my desk and I went, ew, what the fuck? Like, coffee ice cream is gross.
And this is back when you could just smoke in a hospital.
I love it. But I love that it's the moment that fucking the mayor, he's like, my kid was in that thing too.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to himself and like biting his nails because he realized like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And again, it's like one of those things where people in power or people on a left or right, it doesn't affect them until it affects them. When it's out there, it's like, well, it's somebody else's problem.
Look. He had the best interests of the island.
I don't disagree with that.
And I agree
As someone
with
who
everything.
lived at the Jersey Shore for years, I understand what happens when seasons are ruined. I get it. Mm-hmm. So I'm for the mayor. And you know what? They liked him enough to make him the mayor in part 2. Yeah, he's still the mayor in part 2.
The mayor. He must have turned it around.
What if he was able to parlay this whole thing? He's like, I got that guy to go out there and he killed the shark.
Yeah.
Vote for me. Those kids, the people who died here, they weren't even from the island. Chrissy wasn't an islander. Alex Kintner wasn't an islander.
He wasn't?
I don't think so.
No, he was.
All right, well, you got to break a few eggs if you want to make an omelet.
I think Quint was an islander.
Yeah, but nobody liked Quint.
What about that Gardner guy, the guy in the boat?
Well, Ben Gardner was a dick. Like, he was out there. And then that head pops up and stuff because Greg Nicotero owns the prop.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was in Walking Dead when the governor has all the heads in the thing. The one in the middle. I don't know. He might have made one from the negative, but that head was in the thing.
From the negative? You mean the mold?
Well, they call it a negative, don't they?
No, they call it a mold.
The mold makes the negative.
Is that an actual term?
I think so. Joe LaScola would know. Hold on, we're going to call Joe LaScola.
Do you have your phone?
I have my phone. Hold on.
Hello?
Hi, Joe LaScola. This is famous YouTuber Tony from Hack the Movies. I'm very famous. How are you? Hello? Oh, I think we lost him.
Oh, no.
Joe, can you hear me?
Let me see.
I think we lost him.
Oh, shit. Hello? Oh, let's try him one more time.
Sounds like he hung up.
Call cannot be made. Oh, I don't know what happened.
Well, hopefully we'll hear back from him at some point.
He's gone. He's gone forever.
He's going to be like, why did he call to tell me I'm famous?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you do that to me a lot.
That's true.
You just call to tell me how famous you are. Actually, let me use the restroom real quick and then we'll...
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Joe. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, we had a question.
Yeah.
Well, first off, this is Tony from Act Movies. I'm very famous. Second.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forget.
Yeah.
You always got to keep reminding me.
I have to remind you because if you forget, I'll cry. When you make a new prosthetic that was based off an old mold, do you say, hey, I made this based off the old mold, or do you say I made this based off the negative?
Based off the old mold.
Oh.
Negative.
What's the negative?
No, negative is a film term, you idiot. He thought negative.
No. Well, he's not wrong.
Oh.
The mold is a negative.
See?
Yeah, but you use the term based it off the old mold, not negative.
But that Greg Nicotero...
It's a cast from the mold.
Okay, so I'm right is what I'm hearing.
When you make a mold, you're pouring what do you call whatever you're using, whether it's like ultracal or epoxy or whatever. You're pouring it over a positive, and then you're taking it off, and it makes a negative.
Oh, okay. Well, we were both kind of right and wrong. Okay.
Both right.
One last thing. Do you like Jaws?
Do I like Jaws?
Yeah.
Which one?
The first one. We're reviewing it right now.
Of course. Oh, okay.
All right, good. You're in the episode.
Do you like it more than Orca?
That's debatable.
We should review Orca on Patreon. Anyway, we gotta go now.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Orca's fucking great.
Orca's awesome.
It's great.
Orca's pretty
Orca's
awesome.
fucking awesome.
That might be a Patreon exclusive with me and Joe, because Joe loves that movie.
I definitely would put this above Orca, but it's not a big drop off between them, you know?
A killer whale breaks into someone's house. Yeah. It makes sense when you see the movie, but when you say it, people go, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Well, they did kill her baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whales actually care about their children, which comes into play later on in my notes here. So, where are we at here? Smoking in the hospital. He signs the thing.
Without looking.
Yeah, without looking to hire Quint.
You're going to give me the money to hire Quint, you know?
Yeah. And Quint's all like, all right, let's do this. Let's go in the water and the bow-legged women. That's what he sounds like.
He's like, here, I made this, I got this for you. And it's like, we don't know what that alcohol is. And he hands it to Hooper and he's like, don't drink that.
He's like, made him himself. Yeah. And his manservant is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they had a lover's spat and he left.
He's like, please, I want it to be the one to take the shark bones out of the bin. Like, what were they doing there? I know they were getting the flesh off of them to have them. But I was like, that's weird.
Newt, I'm a little confused by your notes here.
What's that?
You said that Quint says, you go in the cafe. Cage goes in the water.
Oh. I changed it. You go in the cafe.
You go in the cafe.
And because he's looking at all of Hooper's stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you, some kind of half-assed astronaut? And he's like, you go in the cage? And he's like, yeah, I go in the cage. He goes, you go in the cage.
The cage goes in the water.
Shock in the water. Shock's in the water. I'll shock. But
I love that he wrote, you go in the cafe.
Yeah. That's a whole different one.
Yeah. And then he goes, farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies from Spain. I used to know all the words, but I haven't researched it in a long time.
The great thing about that song is when he says he's going to go into the cage, he doesn't trust this new futuristic stuff. He, so that song becomes a harbinger of bad things. Yeah. So when he sings it the first time, it's a fuck you to Hooper. But then when it pops up again later in the movie, it takes on this way darker connotation each time.
And
he also,
real quick about that song. I don't know if you know this about video games. One, they're for children, but two, I really like Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah.
I didn't play the first few Assassin's Creed. People say it ruined it. I don't know. 4 is really good fun, though, because you're a pirate. And one of the things you could do in that game is collect sea shanties for your crew to sing. And one of them is Spanish Lady.
Lady?
So I would just, sail my pirate ship on the ocean, hunting sharks, and just have my crew sing Spanish ladies while playing the game.
Farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you, ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail for old England, and we may never see you, fair ladies, again.
Oh, so he says, here lies the body of Mary Lee. Died at the age of 103. For 15 years, she kept her virginity. Not too bad for this vicinity.
Not bad a record.
Not too bad a record for this vicinity. Which is basically like the women in that area were a little loose. But apparently that was an ad lib. He read it on a tombstone and just remembered it and just said it in that take. And Spielberg was too intimidated by Robert Shaw to say no, so it just pops up in the movie.
Well, he almost killed James Bond.
He did. But I was on Google the other day looking things up, and there's a whole thread of people who are trying to figure out what that means. And like it's just hilarious, the thread where it's just like these people have these ideas of what it means, but it doesn't.
I mean, I think I get it.
Yeah.
Weird to put on a tombstone.
Exactly.
Like,
this is for my beloved daughter.
Beloved daughter in Hawaii or something like that. So yeah, they're on the sea.
Yeah. And
Brody and Hooper.
And, Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw hated each other in real
Quint
life.
and Hooper hate each other, but it worked so well for the scene. Like, I love when he throws the rope in Quint's face. But yeah, they hate each other, but it works really, really well because their characters are supposed to not really like each other.
You got city hands. You got money on your hands.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the famous feeding the chum, and this is the first time you actually see the shark's face.
This scene is so fucking great. He's like, slow ahead. And he's like, I'll slow ahead. You come down here and chum some of this shit.
Yeah.
And then the fucking shark pops up, and he backs up into the thing, and he says the famous line.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Exactly, and that was an ad lib because
which would be topped in Godzilla 98 with we need bigger guns.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla 2014 named the characters Brody.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kevin Smith movies too. Clerks and Mallrats, everybody's named after characters from Jaws.
Like Hicks and stuff.
Brody Bruce and T.S. Quint from Mallrats.
Right.
And then in Chasing Amy, they have the whole scene where they're talking about their scars from sex.
They're still in Skarsgård?
They're still in Skarsgård.
From Deep Blue Sea?
Yes. SARS, the disease.
Oh, yeah.
They have that whole scene where they're talking about their sex scars. And it's the scene from Jaws as well, you know?
Yeah, so they tried a radio, and you said it's Spielberg on the radio.
Spielberg is on the radio.
For those of you who aren't getting that reference, watch our Shrek episode, where the only Jewish member on our crew could not say Steven Spielberg's name.
And he's like...
the one person who shouldn't have been able to say his name.
But I like how people in our comments now, and in the chats on the premieres, will say Spielberg.
I love when the shark is attacking, and you have it here where, Hooper's trying to get a picture of it. He's like, go to the end of the boat. I need something for scale.
Why? Just go to the end of the boat. Why?
It's like, for scale. I need an object to show how big it is.
Well, if you saw that in the water, would you go out there?
I mean, well, in the real world, I don't think a shark's going to jump up on the boat, so I think it's fine.
But still, the shark is...
In this movie world, I'd be hesitant.
Yeah.
When I heard it ripped a pier in half, I'd be like, all right. But in real life, I'd be like, yeah, it's not going to...
The shark is 25 feet long and 3 tons, he says.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. I love the ocean. I love going in the ocean. I love swimming.
Yeah.
I've been in the Florida Keys, and I've had like sharks swim between my legs, and it's terrifying.
Did you go to the southernmost Florida Key?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like you would like that place.
Oh no, I know. So it's called Bone Island because it used to be where the pirates and all the war stuff, and they would leave the bones out there. But now it is a hot spot for homosexuals.
We accidentally flew in. I forget. Is it the Conch Republic?
Accidentally.
We flew in for my friend's wedding because it was in the Florida Keys. But we're like, all right, let's fly into this airport. It's pretty cheap, and we didn't realize that like we went to the bottom of the Florida Keys, and his wedding was like almost near Florida. So me and my girlfriend had to drive every single Florida Key to the wedding. So we saw every single. But we flew into the little airport, and we're looking around, and we're like, huh. We're looking at the advertisements, like, wow, they have a lot of specific resorts here, and I didn't realize that that's what the island was known for.
Yeah,
Which
I was
is fine.
Nothing
wrong with it.
No, I was there for a friend of mine's gay wedding in 2011, and the guy who ran the thing told us the whole story, and I was there. No, not 2007. Yes, and I was there with a then girlfriend, and she was like mortified by the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why? Like it.
You know, I got a video of a cock I saw on that island, and I'm gonna play it right now. Why are you crossing the road? Why are you crossing the road? Come back here!
But when I was there, we went to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum.
Oh yeah,
and that's where
I went to the scuba diving museum.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What does scuba stand for? We've done this before.
We have, and I forgot.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
What I learned from scuba at the scuba thing was that the history of scuba is horrifying.
Yeah.
Basically, people were like, we're going to build this thing. Don't know if it's going to work. Good luck. And like some of the things they built look terrible. And it's like, no one, like, why did they think this was a good idea? Like, of course, a lot of stuff they didn't know about the bends. And they're like, go down there.
The Radiohead album?
No. They're like, go down there. And then you pull them up and like, oh, wow, they're all like freaking out. Wonder what that's about. Let's try it again.
Whenever I hear scuba, I think of Hank Azaria from, was it Along Came Polly? Where he's like all like muscular and he's like, you want to scuba? You remember that movie?
Barely.
Oh.
I remember the shark thing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to this movie.
Yeah. We should do a review from the Florida Keys. We should go to that island.
I would love to go to the Florida Keys again. Quint's whistling sounds like Mac and Me.
Yes. When he's standing on the end of the boat and he's whistling, I just thought of like the...
You know what's funny? The only GIF for rental reviews, when you type in like rental reviews into a GIF thing, is just us from that first movie doing the dance that the Mac and Me family does.
Justin sends me that all the time when I ask him a question, like a serious question about work, and then he just sends me that thing, and I showed Mike, and he goes, yeah, he does it to me too.
Oh my God, it's Justin Silverman.
Hey guys, what movie are you reviewing today?
Jaws.
Jaws. What year did that come out?
70s.
All bad movies came out before 1991 with Terminator 2. It's a fact.
Justin, you should go over there and look at some videos.
Yeah, check out the videos on that side of the store.
Ignore all that blood on the floor.
Okay, I'll look at the stuff.
Oh no! Oh no!
Terrible.
Guys, Justin Silverman is being eaten. It's a tragedy. You're not down far enough. Well, Newt, Justin Silverman's dead too. The good news is, though, the shark is now full. We can go back to reviewing Jaws.
Good.
Then we get the drunken scar story, like you said. And I love the build-up, like they're showing all the scars. He's like, right here. She broke my heart.
Let me guess. Mother. Yeah, because I love how this scene, again, this is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. This scene is probably the greatest monologue in movie history.
Yeah.
This scene has so much weight to it and is so perfectly executed, but it's funny that they had to do it more than once because Robert Shaw was so drunk the night before that he couldn't get through it. And they were like...
He was a real Orson Welles.
Yeah.
French champagne.
But there was like a bunch of different writers who had to take a hand in this. John Milius had a hand in writing this thing as well. And it's about the USS Indianapolis, which was a real...
Nicolas Cage made a movie about it a few years ago. I actually want to check that out.
Yep. And it was about the boat that delivered the atomic bomb. And it was so secret. And they got hit by a torpedo. And they went down, and most of the crew was picked off by sharks because no one was allowed to know they were there. And Quint is telling this story, and it's his Captain Ahab moment.
Yeah.
It's when he goes, you know, what's the tattoo on your arm?
Yeah.
And Quint tried to have it removed, and he's like, oh, it says mother, and he's laughing, and he taps Hooper on the shoulder. He's like, that's the USS Indianapolis.
And Hooper knows exactly what
it is. And then,
like,
that's what's so amazing about the acting in this scene is just like the way that his body language changes is so fucking impressive. And Brody doesn't know what it is, and he's asking him the story. And then he tells this story. And I know a lot of times in movies you hear show, don't tell.
Yeah. No, there's exceptions.
This man telling a story and how the camera gains on him is so much scarier than if you would have shown what happened.
It's like in Halloween when Donald Pleasance talks about like little Michael Myers. Because if you were to show that, it's like, all right, some stupid kid not talking. But the way he tells the story.
And they both have dark eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Like a doll's eyes. I really want to play that scene, but we'll get copyright claimed. Maybe I can get someone to recreate it. And if I do, we're going to put it here.
Sometimes that shark looks right at you. Right into your eyes. And the thing about a shark is he's got lifeless eyes. Black eyes. Like a doll's eyes. When he come at you, he doesn't seem to be living. Till he bites you. and those black eyes roll over white, and then you hear the terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and despite all your pounding and a hollering, those sharks come in and they rip you to pieces. You know, by the end of the first dawn, lost 100 men. I don't know how many sharks there were. Maybe 1,000. I don't know how many men. They averaged 6 an hour.
Show me the way to go home.
Because
I'm tired and I want to
go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it's gone right to my
That's
head.
a great scene where like the shark like joins in with the music, starts banging into the boat. Why is the okay? I know it's a movie monster, but like, why is the shark attacking the boat? Like,
because they're out there, and they're a threat at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it back. You just swim away from it.
I know, but they're shooting barrels at it. Those barrels are trying to make it surface.
Yeah,
and they hit it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Which when me and my, did I mention that? Me and my girlfriend were
Quint
and Jaws.
Show that picture.
Yeah, when we were Quint and Jaws, which the shark looks real familiar in this picture. I tied, because I wasn't Quint, my girlfriend was Quint. I tied 3 yellow balloons to my shark outfit to look like the barrels.
So the shark is attacking them, and the fucking shark just fucks up the orca.
Yeah. But I love it. It's like, he can't swim with 3 barrels, and then it just goes under.
Yeah.
It's like, well, shit, maybe he can. Yeah, and then the shark drags the boat for a bit.
Yeah.
Which again was ripped off in Godzilla 98. when it dragged, but that one drags 3 boats.
It does indeed, but that's a Godzilla.
Yeah, that is a Godzilla. It's very different.
The sharks and Godzillas are very different. When the boat's on fire, he does the Spanish Lady song again. But when he's telling his story, he talks about the most scared he was when they had to put on the life jackets.
Yeah.
And they're waiting to get picked up. And he goes, that's the most scared I ever was. He goes, I'll never put on a life jacket again. And later when the boat's sinking, he grabs the life jacket and then lets go because he realizes, well, this is the end. And he throws Quint and he throws Brody and Hooper life jackets, and he realizes he's going out no matter what.
Yeah.
And watching it again, every time I see that scene, I'm like, ooh, like that's...
I just remembered when they're talking about the scars, Brody like pulls up his shirt. And I don't know if he has a scar. I think maybe like his appendix came out and he's like, I'm just going to leave that one to myself.
Exactly.
So he's shocked.
Like a kid in scissors class cutting up paper dolls.
Yes. So he's shocked that the shark goes underwater with the barrels, even though the shark was just dragging the boat. I feel like that was the bigger shock. And then he goes, all right, I guess we're going to set up the shark cage through earway. He like puts the poison in there.
But he's like, you think you can get this thing through its skin? And he's like, no, I can't, but maybe I can get it in the mouth. And he's just like, what are we doing? Like,
by the way, okay, they didn't mention if it's like a supernatural shark. I think you can, you have to put a lot of force in there, but at least Cruel Jaws gave an explanation for why the shark was so mean.
Yeah.
It was a science experiment.
And because it was cruel. But what's also cool about this scene is the movie was rewritten by real sharks.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So they had a second unit crew go to Australia, and they put a little person inside a cage.
A miniature cage.
And they got footage of real sharks, and they forgot to put the little guy back in the cage for the shots.
Right.
And all the scenes you see in the shark where the shark is tied up on top and it's fucking thrashing around, that looked so good to the studio to like, oh, Hooper just lives now. Because in the original draft, Hooper died.
Yeah.
So real sharks rewrote the ending of Jaws.
My only issue with that is like because when you do see the shark animatronic, like there's a big disconnect.
Big difference,
Which is a problem that would happen with CGI later on. It's like you could tell the difference between them, but it works pretty well.
They show them a little bit too much in the third act, especially some of the stuff underwater.
Especially if you're going to mix in real shark footage, I would use that a little bit more.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, because he has the thing and he drops it to the ocean's floor, and the fucking shark is just jamming its nose.
You know who's in the shark cage?
Who's that?
If I remember correctly, it's stuntman Dick Warlock.
Oh, really?
I believe it's him. I'll let you know if I'm wrong.
I'm a big Dick. I wish Dick Warlock was my fucking porn name.
I have a Dick Warlock autograph.
So do I.
Halloween too.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't think he was that good of a Michael Myers. He played him too much like a robot, but a good stuntman. Hooper like sneaks away. He's like, I'm gonna hide underneath the water for some reason.
And then I always thought that Quint's death was a little too abrupt.
Yeah, it happens pretty fast.
There could have been a more stressful lead in before it comes up on the boat.
But how much of that is like they wanted to like be abrupt to take you off? Like, because now you would have like the music swelling.
And I do like that there isn't really a music sting. It just happens.
Yeah.
Which I thought was good. I just always watching it, I always felt like there was something missing there.
I like when Spielberg knows when to use music and when not to use it. Like Jurassic Park when the T-Rex attacks, Saving Private Ryan. I think the opening in D-Day doesn't have any music until like the battle's kind of done. He knows when to use it and when not to.
And that's the whole thing. And this movie especially, like apparently when he heard the Jaws theme for the first time, he laughed at John Williams. And he's like, no, really, where's the score? But now like you can't do anything without thinking of that, you know?
It's been ripped off
But the
so
way
many
that
times.
score works is it changes its tone with the scene. So you have that more like whimsical adventure thing, which then goes right into the, and it's so, because I had my headphones on watching it, and you get a lot more of the musical mix to it. And I was like, man, this is so, again, I've seen this movie a million times, but every time I see it, I love it more.
Yeah.
You know?
That just reminds me, I have Jaws Unleashed for PS2, and I keep forgetting to stream it. I've had it for 2 years now.
We should do that
We should stream that. We should stream that, and then Assassin's Creed 4, but only when you're hunting sharks and whales. Just that part.
I've only seen the Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, that's
remember
fine.
that?
Yeah, I remember
Michael Fassbender.
I'm not a big I think I just really liked Assassin's Creed 4, just because the pirate stuff. I didn't really give a shit about the Assassin's Creed
Remember
part
they
of
made
it.
a Prince of Persia movie?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so how do they defeat the shark?
Hooper jams a tank of compressed air into the shark's mouth, and the boat is completely sinking. He takes the rifle and climbs up to the bird's nest, I guess it would be called, or
yes,
a lookout, and he's shooting. But I like when he's like, blow up. He's like
up.
yelling at it, and then finally he's like, show me the tank, blow up, and then it comes up and it's smile, you son of a bitch. Boom,
Smile, you son of a
Do you know the end? Oh yeah,
Mythbusters said that that's not possible.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
No.
Do you know the original ending from the book?
No.
It was used in Jaws 4. In the book, I think they used the ship. It was either in the book or in the script. They spear it with the ship. And then I guess they used that for Jaws 4, but then they added that whole, like, there's a bomb on the, or something. There's like two different versions.
It was also
of that.
in the LJN game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jaws 4 has like two different endings.
I love that the shark roars. And
yes.
Because sharks don't have vocal cords.
Yes.
And you use that roar.
I use that roar. That roar is from, I'll look into it.
It's from a dinosaur movie.
It's from an old dinosaur movie, but it's been used in many films.
But you used it in all the AVGN roars.
Yeah, we used it. The Tomb Raider episode is
Yeah.
the same roar. I think it might have been used in Duel. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Actually, when the shark like blows up, they play a little bit of sound from Duel when the truck goes over the end.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me, the rental reviews we did with Nathan Barnett,
Yeah,
the Duel
it's great.
episode is really good. Where we had a theory that the truck driver was hauling the shark from Jaws, and somehow the shark made it to the ocean.
Hey, it could happen. But
then it's a happy ending.
It's a happy ending, but I every time because you've seen the Sharkula script, every time the shark roars, I just put Jaws 4 roar in the script over and over again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good ending where they like swim away.
Yeah. Oh, because Hooper comes back up and they take the things that what are they, pontoons? What are they?
I forget.
And they go back and he's like,
but I love the detail where there's just seagulls everywhere just eating the shark.
And he's like, I used to hate the water. And he's like, oh, I wonder why.
Yeah. But yeah, this Spielberg said might have been a spiritual sequel to Jaws.
Okay.
Because it's similar a little bit. It's like, well, this one was about a killer truck. This one's about a killer shark. And you don't know the motive for either of them.
No, exactly. But that's the thing, like, Killer Truck movie is the same thing with, I'm helping, James and I are writing a lot of the October episodes for Monster Madness. And one of the movies that I wanted to do was Road Games, which is Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis. And I gave it to James to watch, and he's like, this is fucking great. And we both had the same thought about it, is this, same thing with the ocean, this big, huge landscape, and you can go anywhere, but you really can't. There isn't anywhere to go. And that's a terrifying thought on top of what you don't see below the water.
Yeah.
You know, so this is in my, like I said, it's my top, I've said it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I can watch this movie a million times.
Yes.
I can quote this movie, you know.
What can you quote from Jaws 2? This is the stupid special edition cover. I like the real cover where it's the girl water skiing and the sharks behind
Well, that's
her.
Jaws 3.
No, it's Jaws 2.
Jaws 2 was the girl water skiing. Or Jaws 3 was the girl water skiing. Jaws 2 is the red cover with the...
I'm looking up right now.
I have the poster for 2 and 3.
Yeah, but you're fake newts. I don't trust you. Hold on. Jaws 2 poster. Get to the bottom of this. Oh, wow, Newt. That looks like a girl water skiing.
Then I'm wrong. I thought it was Jaws 3 because Jaws 3 takes place at the water park.
But Jaws 2 has the scene of him chasing the girl on the thing. Jaws.
And then Jaws 2 ends like the Jaws ride.
Jaws 3D. Oh, Jaws 3D has multiple people water skiing.
Well, there you go. That'd do it.
So once again, we were both right and wrong.
The final dimension is terror. is the tagline for that movie.
Yeah, and then of course the fourth one, it's the shark wants revenge because it had baby sharks. The funny thing about that is that look, I don't know about every shark species, but a lot of shark species don't give a shit about their family members. Yeah. They observed, I think, in tiger sharks. Do you know what those motherfuckers do in the uterus? Before they're even birthed, they're eating each other. Like, they don't care. Like, the shark births the kids, and they're like, I'm fucking done. And sometimes they'll be like, you know what? I'm hungry. What did I just shit out? Yeah. Oh, there it is. So the fact that sharks would want
revenge.
Yes.
But I like we were talking the other day about the novelization. The novelization of part 4, the reason that the shark is after the Hooper or the Brody family is because of voodoo magic.
Yes.
Which would have made them. I would have liked the movie way better if it was voodoo magic.
My friend Clayton Fioriti,
yeah,
who should be on the show at some point. Mm-hmm. He does a Jurassic Park channel, and he does April Fool's videos once in a while.
Yeah.
And he did one where it was like Jurassic Park 3 was originally going to tie into Jaws 4 with the voodoo magic. And it was like this unknown script, but like he interviewed Peter Jackson. It was just me doing a terrible, I'm doing Australian things. I'm turning into Cockney. Like my accent was all over the place.
Well, you know that Jaws 3 was originally going to be a comedy.
Jaws 3 People 0. And then there was one with...
So I wore my New World Pictures shirt because he wanted Joe Dante to do it. Because Joe Dante made the most profitable Jaws ripoff, which was Piranha.
Right.
Yeah.
They were also going to do one with the fucking Animal House.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was an Animal House Jaws one, and they were like, we're not doing that.
When are we going to do the Jaws porn? Gums.
One day.
I have the poster for that one, too.
But the fact that those never got made kind of makes me want to have Fast and Furious with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like, Spielberg, just let it happen.
Just do it.
Just let it happen. Who gives a shit at this point? Who gives a shit about either of them?
I know. But recently, Spielberg said he won't allow Jaws to be remade.
That makes sense.
Which I'm glad. Don't do it. You know?
Oh, man. When he dies.
Oh, it's going to be like fucking the day the clown cried. They're going to just do it all, you know?
They never released that movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The day the clown cried never got released.
I like how it could equate a Jaws remake with a movie about the Holocaust.
Speaking of a lot of people dying, rest in peace, our regular guest who visited the store and got eaten.
But you were 100% right. Like, after it took Justin, it went and laid down, and I think the shark has the itis.
Yeah, I think it does, too. And, you know, maybe we'll dig him out later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll keep him dead. Who cares? But yes, thank you for watching and listening, because it is a podcast feed. Remember, if you want to listen to these on the go, download that podcast feed. And make sure to check out our Patreon. We have a lot of new content on there recently. We did a vlog recently where we went to GameSwap.
Yep.
Another mailbag episode, maybe another one by the time this is uploaded. And yeah, check out all that stuff. And I hope you had a good 4th of July. This is July 5th, right? It's coming out?
Yeah.
And I hope you love America. We all know Newt doesn't. And yeah, maybe we'll come back for another shark movie. Bye!
Well, I want to go back to watching that shark movie we were watching in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, let's watch that again.
That girl looks really familiar.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.